Today I'm going to talk to you about concealer because you may not be able to tell right now, but I am a little under the weather. I have been for about a week, so it's the perfect scenario for me to show you the new concealer toys that I have. I found this BH Cosmetics concealer kit that uses the color wheel to help cancel out discoloration in your face. So I ordered the medium and light, and so this is the medium and this is the light. There is a darker one, so you can match virtually any skin tone. I found that, so I thought that maybe my dark circles were a little too dark and that maybe I would need darker colors to cancel them out, but the light ones actually work pretty well for me. So don't use this one so much, but it doesn't matter, they were only $5. So I will be putting the link in my blog post. But these have been a godsend. They help me to conceal discoloration without having my concealer look too muddy, which is usually what happens, is that I'll use concealer and then I set it with powder and it looks muddy and it looks like there's something still there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started with you and I'll show you how to use these products. Okay, we're gonna get started. The first thing you need to know is that your foundation goes on first before your concealer. So I went ahead and used a primer. I'm trying out Smashbox because I'm trying out a bunch of them before I can decide which ones I should present to you that you should be using. But primer first and then foundation. So we'll get started. Dior Air Flash is my absolute favorite for like going out type look and for high coverage. So did my SPF, did my primer, and now I just primed my brush with a little bit. And a little bit of this goes a long way, and you want to dab it around your face in equal amounts. I like to get a little under my eyes because of course I need it there. And then you just sort of work at spreading the foundation all around your face for a nice coverage. And we never want to forget about the neck. Got a little too much there. And so you spend a little bit of time blending and spreading out the product. It does a nice job of covering without giving you that caked on look. All right, now for the fun part, all the stuff I've been experimenting with and learning. So I'm gonna start with my under eye circles, and they're kind of a purplish red. So I'm gonna use one of the more pink peach colors. I'm gonna use this one. And I'm gonna go in and make kind of like a triangle, which is the best way to make your eyes look brighter. And I'm going to do that more so when I cover this up with my concealer that matches my skin tone. But for now, I want to just basically cover up those dark circles. And I like to get in there too because they get pretty dark right there on me. And this process is really just all about blending. And you notice that I'm dabbing the brush because it goes on best when you dab it and you don't end up, like if I take the brush and I wipe it this way, then you can see my coverage kind of goes away and I'm reinforcing that circle of dark color. So I'm going to go back in and stipple it a little bit more. That's what we call this dabbing motion with a paintbrush. And a little bit goes a long way with this stuff. You don't need to use a ton of it, and you're gonna layer your makeup anyway. We still have the foundation that matches my skin color and the powder to go over this, and then of course a little bit of highlighter as well. So we have quite a few products that we're gonna be putting on top of this, so you don't want it to be too caked on. And then I like to get a little bit more in that crease that I get because it's going to hide it nicely. And I've got some discoloration going on right here because of this cold that I have. So I'm going to get that as well. I'm just filling in fine lines right here doing this because I can see it in the mirror behind my camera that I've got some creasing of the makeup. So I'm trying to get rid of those creases. And again, same thing over here. And I do like to work a little bit with blending different colors. I have a little bit too much under there, so I'm gonna wipe a little excess off. And that's important. We don't want to walk out of the house looking like a clown. So you have to be conscious of how much product you're putting on your face. And I feel like that didn't quite cover as well as I wanted it to, so I'm going to go back with one of the more pink colors. I used this one before. I'm going to go back with this one and blend a little bit. Okay, we're looking better. It's not as easy for you guys to see with the lighting, but I can tell in my bathroom, and you'll be able to see when we get to the final products that we're really coming along quite nicely. After we put some other products on top of this, it's going to be completely gone. And that's important to remember, is that you don't need it to be complete coverage just from your concealer. That's when you end up with a muddy look underneath your powder. So we're going to move on. I feel like I've done a pretty decent job on that. And I'm cleaning off the excess on my brush because I'm going to start with the green color. You can see I have some redness here and some redness here where I have two burns on my forehead where I burned myself in the exact same place. And I've got some red spots right here and right here. So bad for me, lucky for you guys. I get to show you how this product really works. So we're gonna go with the green because green covers up red marks. And you can see I'm gonna move in kind of close because when I go in for, which one's the reddest? Let's say this one. A tiny little dab right there with that one, and then up here. Let's see, maybe that's better. Yeah, and you can see right here, just a tiny bit, and that mark is gonna go away. And you may be left with a little bit of a green discoloration, but that's why we put foundation on top of it. And so you can see that it's almost completely disappearing. And that's what we want. It's okay that it looks just a tiny bit green. And then I've got another one right here, because we're gonna blend that out and we're gonna use concealer on top of it. So when I say blend it out, I'm coming around to the edges where it doesn't need to be so thick, and I'm just sort of blending it in with the rest of my face. And then here's this one. A little discoloration here that it's hard to see it in the camera, but it is a little bit red. So the green just kind of cancels out the red, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other one too. And I'm going to add a little bit of green in here because I have kind of a red purple line there from being sick lately. So we want to make sure that we're using the appropriate colors to cancel them out. If your color under your eye is more of a purple color, then you're going to get more from the purple or blue. You're going to get more from the pink colors and the red colors. But mine are a little bit red, as you saw before. So adding a little bit of green in there is going to help us a little later. And I'm just getting rid of a little excess with my finger, because we don't want too much. Okay, so that is good for the BH Cosmetics color erasers, or canceling them out. Now we're gonna add a little bit of concealer on top of it, and I like the NARS creamy concealer because it is gonna fill in fine lines, and I need that a little bit under my eyes. And so this is where we're gonna do the triangle, because it works with highlighting your face to create more of an awake look, and that's what we want. We want radiant, awake looking eyes. So we do the triangle, and I don't want to forget about these other little spots that we covered up, so I'm going to add just a tad bit on top of them. I had to stop myself and say, where was that little one? So we're just going to blend. And I'm kind of pushing it into those creases so that it covers them up. Okay, so we have done a pretty good job of concealing. Now it's time to add a little bit more color to my sickly face with the bronzer and just basically get started on the rest of my makeup.